Yes, greetings people and welcome to all the new ones. We've hit another 1,000 sub threshold, so it is customary that I tell the audience I am South African, unless the new people think I'm some kind of discount version of the spiffin Brit. I did have other plans today, but considering the dev video got almost 20,000 views, safe to say I should have foreseen we get the dull and dim-witted in the comments section who obviously couldn't make a coherent argument if their lives depended on it, and so we have another episode of Stop Being So Stupid. Let's crack on, shall we? Dude, this entire video is cringe. If you thought that one was cringe, wait till you see this one featuring you. I watch Dev, yeah, that's kind of a you problem, and I disagree with him on stuff pretty regularly, though I had no context to this whole issue when I clicked on this video. Okay, so you're coming in almost entirely uninformed. That's an honest admission, although not a very wise one. The difference between you and Dev, there's many actually, isn't ego, it's a matter of philosophical and logical frameworks. This comment is so horrendously piss-poorly thought out, I'd recommend you wear a helmet. The person and the audience for that matter, just for different reasons obviously. Ego aside, philosophical and logical frameworks, are you taking the piss? Dev has people have a go at him constantly for his positions and actions making no freaking sense whatsoever, including when he gets things factually wrong, but logical framework is the angle you're going to go with here. If you said a lack of it, that might make some sense, but this is not a good look for you, mate. Being a part of the majority does not make you right, nor does having a following make you right. The former was a point Dev said because that was the main critique of him in the end. Sweet Mary, Mother of God. No one said being part of the majority automatically grants you a win. Now, let me try and explain this to you. So take the helmet off for a moment and try not to run into walls or eat paste or something for about 50 seconds or so. Your job, such as it is to capture and keep an audience by offering them something that appeals to them. Numbers is the important variable here. That's your bread and butter. If there is a substantial chunk of even your own audience telling you you're wrong and full of it, it would behoove you as the creator to address it and not just whisk their opinions to the side, lest you look like a massive egotist with your head up your ass. You would be wiser to look at those critiques and address them in a manner that explains to the audience why you have them, and if you're just factually dead wrong, well, don't be surprised if the audience sours on you for it. It will leave them with the conclusion you just stir drama for the views and dosh, or, more bizarrely, you have some kind of strange fetish for being berated in public. Who knows, I'm not here to judge. Lord knows Canadians already have enough problems as it is. Seriously, listen to yourself. I do, constantly. I'm very happy with it. You're acting like disagreeing with most people is a moral failure of some sort. Everyone in my comment section is going to laugh their asses off at you for saying that, given that I am a monarchist. I'll leave you with a few moments to giggle at that one. Yeah, Twitter is garbage and prime for arguments constantly, which is why I'm not on and why I think Dev is foolish for being on it. Okay, so you're not even on Twitter, and you admitted at the start you had no idea as to the context of any of this. Do you realize the more you profess your ignorance on this matter, the dumber this comment looks? This is the kind of stuff that makes me think Wi-Fi needs some kind of IQ test, because clearly the internet is not quite fit for broad public consumption. But him daring to give his opinion doesn't make him a bad person. Again, no one said any of this, dude. No one sat there gesticulating wildly going, "How dare this Canadian speak on these affairs?" Fanboy is one thing, but this is borderline surreal. What even is the point of this comment? And you think I must listen to myself? Oof, swing and a miss. This guy takes mild Twitter disagreements like it's some sort of major Twitter beef. Yes, totally, which is why in the opening of the video I called it a spat. Might I suggest you look up what that word means and leave your snotty attitude at the door, or at least wield it when it's a worthy weapon and not lacking the potency of a protester who glues their hands to the frickin' tarmac. Heaven's sake, the original video I made didn't even start from Twitter. It started from YouTube, hence why in the Defending the VTubers video, I didn't link to a Twitter thread. I linked to one of these videos and said, watch this if you want to get caught up to speed. It just spilled over and continued on Twitter. I don't know why people think I'm being hyperbolic when their exaggerations are far heavier than mine. It's so corny to read. I'm more on Dev's side solely because this guy sounds more whiny and annoying. Okay, so you have no merit to your argument or disagreement with me, you just don't like the sound of my voice. It doesn't even freaking need a punchline, does it? You already sound like a joke. Okay, this one isn't so antagonistic, so I'll be more polite here. I admit there is a bandwagon fallacy, but Dev still has an ego. Fans could tell him factual, and if he doesn't like it, he'll ignore it or fence it and use both sidism. At least a sensible take, but I'm curious as to the bandwagoning because I never saw Dev get owned in mass and then join in on the dog pile. Hell, the main one I featured in the video was my own post. Nor did I see V suffer and feel the need to defend his position. Like I said, he bested all three of the Stooges, so what exactly is there to defend? He won. I saw it veer off into Twitter and YouTube and thought, this is dumb as hell and I want to get my take in on this, because V's position is the only one that has any kind of lick of sense. Oh, and if the Just Some Guy video is anything to go by, I really like when people have a go at V. I'll give him credit for one thing. His capacity for common sense logic is really high end. This is something that I've noticed about V. He has this really weird capacity to draw controversy to him when he isn't even trying to. Why people will try and argue with him, I have no freaking idea. I don't recall it ever ending well for those who do. And I do enjoy elaborating on his positions, especially when it's someone like Just Some Guy who slaps another kick me son on his back every time he opens his mouth. Now, if you want to level the accusation at me that I bandwagon on the witty and stupid drama that surrounds V, yes, I absolutely do that. I will happily concede that, because I would be dishonest if I denied that, and it would bring shame upon my nationality because us South Africans are known for being blunt, brutally honest. It's funny, everyone gets a chuckle, and if the view and sub counts are anything to go by, people seem to like it, so yeah, there we go. Bukkake of likes, says Just Some Guy says. But of course, we've saved the best for last. This comment. I sent to Aiden, her only reply was, what? Yeah, that was pretty much my initial reaction as well. You do realize how you and V do the exact same thing Dev is doing, right? Come again? When do V and I spout nonsense that makes no sense, fail to explicate why, desperately scramble to find the fence-sitting middle, piss off half the audience, fail to address any criticism, and thus develop reputations for being rampant egotists? Would you care to elaborate on this accusation? And fair warning, do make it a better one than this one, because this is not a particularly strong showing. Have you ever considered you hate Dev because he's becoming a reflection of yourself? No, because I'm not a moron. I want you to read this again, slowly, and consider the time frame. We don't do any of the former and thus have no reputation that results from those actions, and using the phrase become a reflection suggests we've done this prior to Dev and he is now like us. Do you realize how nonsensical this all sounds? No, obviously not. No sensible person would ever write such bollocks. You're seeing traits that you don't like in yourself in Dev, and it pisses you off, and you're too dense to realize that's why he's pissing you off. Ugh. I do despise these cretins who lump these statements at me, as if through their own cockeyed bravado they somehow think it will become true. I don't see any traits in Dev that I find in myself, except for the rampant ego, I suppose. But the difference between us is, my ego doesn't result in me pissing off a chunk of my own audience as I failed to address their points of view, culminating in them telling me my head is up my own ass. And I'm a monarchist, most of my audience are not, and they don't lambast me for it, nor do I give them hell for clinging to democracy or republicanism. Well, at least not directly anyway. Why, it's almost like they're curious as to why and can learn from me without anyone getting their knackers in a twist. What a remarkable concept that is. Cheers for watching, and once again, I apologize for nothing.